Emma, and I am a student in communications at the University of Ottawa. I love being surrounded by nature, learning how to be more environmentally conscious, and tapping into my creative side. For the purposes of this study, I worked towards answering the question, do Pinterest ads reflect the personality of their users? It is important to highlight that the ads that I studied were presented to me during the COVID-19 pandemic. I chose this question as Pinterest became one of my most used social media apps as I began searching for inspiration when I was feeling uninspired. As we already know, marketers can now deliver ads targeted specifically to individuals based on their online behavior. Pinterest is arguably the social media platform where people create data that says the most about their personalities, as they pin everything that is of interest or relevant to them. I wanted to understand if Pinterest accurately shows me advertisements based off of what they know about my interest. To collect data, I wrote detailed field notes and notes based on writing prompts to be able to identify how I felt about advertisements, capitalism, and a number of other relevant themes related to my research. I also collected screenshots of my Pinterest advertisements that I received. To analyze the data that I collected, I began with reading my field notes and writing prompts answers to find similarities between them to create a key. The key terms that I identified were emotional state of being, overarching concepts, descriptive words, places, things, people, and pandemic. I assigned colors to each key term and went through all my notes and highlighted what corresponded to the key with the assigned color. I used Google Sheets to categorize the highlighted codes under the corresponding key. Pinterest displayed a good understanding of my personality and values by presenting me with advertisements that reflected my interests, such as advertisements by sustainable clothing companies such as Frank & Oak and Tuntree. Environmentally conscious companies reflect a lot of codes that were found in my field notes. However, I discovered that although they seem to know what ads would be of interest to me, this does not mean that the advertisements are well-intentioned. These targeted ads put me into a filter bubble, foreclosing options of new products and therefore limiting my choice. Advertisements that were shown to me often encourage weight loss and dieting. Advertisements like these are problematic as they can increase identification in weight loss advertising, encouraging users to re-examine themselves and their bodies. As seen in my coding, I often feel powerless and manipulated by corporations through advertising as the messages that they send are pervasive and repetitive, which makes the ad weave itself into my reality. These advertisements can also reinforce habits that are unhealthy for users. For example, 3 out of the 12 advertisements shown to me on Pinterest were promoting alcohol. I have never pinned any content about alcohol or cocktails, yet these advertisements were displayed to me. During the COVID-19 pandemic, people are confined to their homes, spending the majority of time isolated from others, and many are facing mental health crises. I do not believe that flooding users with advertisements of alcohol is virtuous in a time when people are feeling vulnerable and might be seeking coping mechanisms. These advertisements come down to the manipulation of our emotions and anxieties during uncertain times to profit off of them by offering solutions that will not offer any actual remedy. This autoethnographic research has taught me that a number of my wants and needs are created through capitalism. Capitalism fabricates these in order for me to never be satisfied and always be seeking and wanting something new and better. By reflecting during my field notes and prompts, I have realized that I am being manipulated and receiving countless fake messages from corporations and thus the power is in their hands. These messages are endlessly reproduced thanks to the advertising within the capitalist society. As we continue to coexist in this society that is essentially controlled by capitalism, we must recognize that there are indirect effects of advertisements, as it is the corporations that are speaking to us. Their intentions are purely economic and not societal. They speak to us through advertising to modify our behavior. Showing me advertisements of environmentally conscious companies does not mean that Pinterest is encouraging me to protect the environment, but knows that these are advertisements that I'm most likely to be influenced by. Corporations such as these have no real regard for environmental conditions. Exploring these Pinterest advertisements was a crucial reminder of the true intentions of corporations. For advertisers, the pandemic has been an opportunity for further managing consumer behavior and ensuring the reproduction of consumer capitalism.